All right, so for those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who have been with us, welcome back. I see a few of our regulars, so I appreciate you. My name's Lexi, for those of you that don't know, and this is Gabrielle. I would say she is probably one of the wisest women that I know, and I'm grateful to do this with her. So this is our third episode since we've done like our official rebranding. So whether you are tuning in on TikTok live or watching later on the tube, which we are going to be uploading the entire episode on that, Founders of the New Earth, you will see it, and it's in our profile picture is like the logo to look for. You can go tune into that if you can't see the whole episode tonight. But we're grateful you're here, and the Founders of the New Earth is not just us, it's a collective movement, including everyone in the chat and those who are going to watch it later. Everyone is a part of it, so we're grateful you're here.
Yes, we are very much grateful. Lexi, before we go live every week or whatever, we talk a little bit beforehand or whatever, and we talked a little bit earlier, and we didn't really say what we were going to talk about tonight, but I know what a lot of people have been coming me, asking me about, and I know what I've been feeling in my life personally, and just collectively what I've been seeing on a whole with so many people that I know, whatever, and that is the shift. Like, we've been talking about this shit. Like, me and Lexi, she said it earlier, whatever. Like, we talked about this when we used to go live months ago or whatever. And we talked about if you didn't get your together, you were gonna start feeling it. So we are feeling that shift now. We've been in like this energy. I would say I did a post earlier. We've been like in this energy for about a month now. That's like this in the thick of it energy or whatever. It's been ups and downs, like, but it's been like this roller coaster ride or whatever. And so that is the shift. That is us shifting from one vibration to another. And for us to do that, you're gonna feel that unstable. You're gonna feel that energy of ebb and flow, that chaos, and then you're gonna feel all that. So that is normal. So if you're feeling it right now, it's okay. It's normal. This is the safe place. That's why we have this place, so you can know what's going on within your life and with us collectively. So you won't just be like, I'm out here alone and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious to know if anyone in the chat has been feeling some kind of shift. And I guess what we mean by that is, well, what are some things that people are saying to you that they're feeling?
Well, it's a lot of deep wounds coming up. Like, I did a post on that too. I said it was a lot of deep, because on my own personal life, it's been some ancestral, I talked about this last week on the live, some ancestral wounds that were even deeper than what I even thought. And once you started doing your internal work, like I always tell people, like, you will start healing stuff from this lifetime, but then also too, you will start healing stuff in your lineages. Your loved ones, your ancestors will start giving you stuff to unpack for your bloodline. So therefore, we're feeling this. Some of it is so rooted and so ingrained. Some of it's from this lifetime. Some of it's from our ancestors' lifetime. Like, I remember the other day, and they always tell you that your parents or whoever raised you, or whatever, that voice when you grow up becomes your inner dialogue. So I was going through something within myself, and I heard a saying that my great grandmother used to say, and I'm like, that is where their limited beliefs come from. That's exactly where it came from. And I heard it as plain as day. And we have to uproot that. But see, we don't know what's going on with us. We won't know what we're feeling and what we're experiencing.
Yeah. So you can, there's a few different words that come to mind when I think of the shift. One is the becoming is a really beautiful part of it. But then the other part, and this is the shadow and the light. So the light part would be the becoming of the shift. Say the shift is the baseline, right? The shadow part, and I'm getting chills saying this, the shadow part would be the reckoning, I would say. And it feels like every step you take, something's going wrong, or something might be shifting, or something's not feeling right. But really, the reckoning is a recalibration. And we talk about this often, and there are a few things that we will always, I feel like, repeat no matter what. But collectively, this is happening. And I think it's so important to have these spaces, because if you don't recognize the reckoning, you can think you are doing something wrong. You can think that something in your life needs to be fixed, when in reality, you are literally becoming. So, in that, a reckoning with, it can be who we have been, who what we have built, and then it's no longer a steady foundation, which is why now it's like founders of the new earth, right? It's like the new earth is actually, and I do want to note this, it is not a place and it is not a destination. It is a frequency that you will hold within yourself, the new self, the becoming, the remembering of yourself, right? Like that's what it is, and it's our goal as souls on this earth in this time to be the best version of ourselves and to strip those things away. So for those of you that have been carrying things that were not yours to carry, or putting labels on yourself that were never meant to be your identity, for example, my career, or, you know, they will be stripped away because they're not serving your highest good. They're actually shielding your highest good. And this is happening individually and collectively. So
yes, it's happening. I mean, that's why we're feeling it. We are feeling it. We're feeling it from the collective. So you might be feeling anxiety, you might be feeling tension, you might be feeling something, and you might not even know where it's coming from. And that's why we talk about knowing your baseline and knowing your energy. Because if you don't know where it's coming from, you could be feeling the collective stuff and you take it on as your own or whatever, and then you start to going down this spiral or whatever. You could be feeling yours and the collective. Like, you have to know what your energy feels like when somebody is sending something your way, when it's collective energy, when it's your own mess. You have to know what that feels like. And you won't know what that feels like if you're not in tune with thyself, if you're not in tune with your body, you're not in tune with your vehicle, your vessel. And so many of us, that's why we have so much stuff to distract us from. We on social media all the time. We work on social media, TV, everything else, from all the rest of the stuff. We do so much to distract us, to get us out of our body. And this right here is our antenna to walk in this physical reality. So we're disconnected from our antenna. How do we know? How are we going to know how to move and create and walk and manifest in this reality what we want to see, not what this reality tells us what we need to see or what we're seeing?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, the relationships too, have the people that you've talked to, are relationships ending or just
shifting, ending, because it takes two people. Your relationship, it takes two people to do their own internal work. At any time in their relationship, if one person stopped doing their work, then I'm telling you, it would be a shift. Like we talked about this in the last slide last week or whatever. That what happens is, if you're doing your internal work and another person isn't, or vice versa or whatever, what you all would do, you all would start to vibrating out of resonance with each other. You all will be on two different frequencies. So what would happen is, either it will trigger something in them that they want to heal and want to grow, and they will decide to do their work, but you cannot force them. Or if they do not, then you all will be so far and out of alignment and vibration, it legitimately hurts you sometimes to be around these kind of people, because you all are not on the same wavelength. And so therefore you all start to separate. That's why you see relationships separate. You see all kind of stuff. Like I was reading something earlier, and it was like in regards to the shift, but it was like another post. And I seen in the comments, they were saying like, yeah, I'm getting a divorce and everything. Like, it's a lot going on right now. That's why we see people that are all the other kind of stuff, and be mindful what I say. You know what I mean? That's why we see so much hiding emotions right now.
A lot of heightened emotion, but hiding emotions also. And if you suppress, it will literally just come out in other ways, whether it manifests as a physical illness, whether it manifests as anger, whether it manifests as even infidelity. It can, any suppressed emotion will literally come out in a way that is not beneficial for you or anyone around you. Gen X said that's what happened with my relationship. Yes, mine too. So and so you're kind of in that, I would call it the second wave of awakening, Gen X, where that's kind of where I was about 4 years ago when my marriage ended. But then it's like, now there's a swish of a new wave of this happening. And I'm so glad to be out of that. But it was such a dark space for me at that time. And just for anyone who their relationships are ending, whether it's a friendship, a family member, a marriage, it's not ending because something went wrong. And like Gabrielle said, it's ending because they cannot exist at the frequency that you are becoming. It is an energetic misalignment. And that even goes as far as relationships in your career. Careers are shifting, friendships that could be fading or failing. It's because your own your belief system that you were built on is crumbling because it wasn't authentic. It wasn't the truth. So, and just remember that none of this is random. None of this is a punishment. None of this is, it is literal alignment. You are being aligned, even if it feels like you're not. And if you resist, it will persist. That's one of my favorite things to say because, well, when I was going through this, if you resist, it will persist. So I've really tried not to, sorry, weird comment. I gotta block that. I really try not to get into like a negative headspace and think, okay, if I resist, it will persist. So trying to get into a flow state is where I was going with that. And then also, it is not rejection, it's redirection and divine protection. I always say those like two things were things that I said and reminded myself of all the time. So that might help someone. And just know, if things feel like they're being stripped away, it's just because whatever is falling apart, let it go, let it flow away, because it wasn't built on a frequency that you are resonating with, and it was built on a frequency that no longer serves you, and that's the fact. So just trust the process. That's it.
Trust the process, and hold space for yourself. Hold space for yourself, and also to hold space for others too. Like, because we're all feeling this, and we have to hold space and grace. And I'm not saying you take nobody bullshit. I'm not saying that, but I am saying, hold space, because we're all growing and shifting. And when we're all growing and shifting, that's a part of it. Now you have to know when. You have to have this where discernment come in. You have to know when I've held space for so long, it's time for me to exit, or, okay, this is a season. This is a, what you call, hi, Harm, how you doing? Thank you. This is a season, or, this is coming up or whatever. So let me walk through this. You have to have discernment within yourself to know when it's time to go or when it's time to stay. And so you will know that, but you won't know that if you're not in tune with yourself. Like I said before, if you're not in tune with yourself, that's why I'm doing the inner work. When I tell you it's so important, like, it is so transformational. You will legitimately change your whole physical reality, inner reality, mental reality, everything, external, everything. You will change everything. The triangle, yes, you will change everything. So that's why it's so, thank you for liking the live, Herb. That's why it's so important for us to have these conversations right now, because we are feeling this as above. Herm said, as above, so below. Yes, as above, so below. As within, as without. Yes. So that's the exact same thing. So we're feeling this, and we need to have these places that we can come to and have these conversations, because if you're not aware of what's going on, then you will feel like everything is just crumbling around you, and you don't know where to go, where to land, where any of this or whatever. That's why we do these weekly lives, because this isn't just something that's happening a one-off just for me and Lexi. This is something that's happening. Like, I legitimately have people calling me all week or coming to me and asking for advice, and and I'm like, trust me, I feel it too. I'm not immune from the shit. I feel it too. I'm processing. I'm crying. I'm releasing some stuff. I was sobbing in the corner like a baby the other day. Like,
there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion, and it's a lot of the fire energy is really strong, which it will literally, it's a lot of passion. What you're passionate about is going to come up, and what you're not being true to yourself with, it will burn to the ground. Like, that's the energy of fire. Fire can light you up and it can keep you warm, or it can burn you and literally burn everything around you. And it can do both simultaneously. It can literally, they both can exist. You can feel warm as everything is literally burning around you, and that's a good space to be. That's a paradox of all of this healing, is literally.
I love the word paradox. Like, we remember working there conversations, and we talk about the Most High. We talk about God, and I'm like, every time I come back to thinking about and feeling about the energy of the Most High, it's a paradox. The energy itself is a paradox. Like, and everything that comes back to it, when you realize it comes back on that loop, is a paradox. Like, this whole journey, like, you have to go in to be without. It's a beautiful journey, but you won't look at it that way if your perspective is not viewing it that way. You will look at it as, everybody's doing this to me. My world is in chaos, and this is and that, all this stuff. First of all, baby, you gotta take accountability. Like whatever is manifesting in your physical reality, you got to start going inward. Why am I attracting this? Why am I still in the same relationships? Why is my money still the same? Why am I not growing? It's not everybody around you. If you're seeing a common denominator that every time something is saying, it's a pattern there. Look at the pattern. That's why I say pattern recognition is so important. When you're able to look at the patterns, you're able to see the patterns in this environment. You're able to see the patterns within yourself and other people, and you're able to start transforming those patterns within yourself.
Amen. And I will say, hi, how are you? Tonight is the eve of the Aries new moon. And you don't, and Gabrielle and I were talking about this before, you don't have to know about the moon to feel it, right? But I do believe that there is value in understanding oneness and understanding like, oh, I'm feeling this way because of this. So you just said something that was, oh my gosh, right before I started talking, you said something which made me say this. Oh, like the common denominator, being the common denominator, and really being self-reflective. That was actually one of the numbers that I kept seeing all week long was 1010. Okay. 1010 is a mirror number. 1010, 1 and 0. 1 is new creation, new beginning, right? So it is literally whatever you are creating in the here and now is always going to be mirrored. So keep in, like, we are our greatest lesson if we can observe everything happening around us as a reflection within us, noticing the patterns. This is happening in all of the relationships, or I'm angry about this across the board. It's a you problem. And it's a beautiful thing. I was just talking about this to someone at work. It's a beautiful thing when you realize it's a you problem, because that means you can fix the problem. It's such an empowering space to be in.
You legitimately take your power back when you realize it's me. It's always been me. It's no one else. So therefore,
no blame.
No blame. See, when you don't have a scapegoat to blame on your F up stuff, then therefore you have to hold accountability. And accountability does not look like judgment. That's why people get it wrong. That's why people don't like doing the internal work. They feel like once they start doing the internal work, they got to look at themselves, they got to judge. No, thou should not judge. We do not judge. We hold space for ourselves. We hold ourselves accountable, but you're able to change and be like, okay, you know what? I got myself in this situation. I can get myself out of it. And then you start to move in the direction. You start to listen to your intuition, listen to their inner guidance or whatever. You're never alone. You're never alone. You are one with infinite source.
You created the bullshit, you can uncreate the bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But speaking of the Aries new moon, I think this was very interesting, and I didn't know this, but if anyone's familiar with Chiron is it a planet? Chiron, thank you.
I don't know.
I don't either. It doesn't matter.
I think it's based off of is it based off of a god or something?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But so if anyone's interested, look it up. But Chiron is the wounded healer. Mm-hmm. It is conjunct the new moon in Aries. I don't really know what all that means, but it doesn't matter. It's the energy behind it. It is literally activating deep healing of places that we are not living in authenticity, and we are not expressing from a place of authenticity, meaning those spaces that you feel like you have to show up in a part of who you are, not fully, because you might be too much, or you might not, you might have too much passion in this one area, so let me dim myself, let me shrink myself, whatever. Those areas of inauthentic expression are really being highlighted right now. Eris is part of Aries energy, the goddess of necessary truth. So it's all about really heightening that truth that is being pushed out. And again, if you don't allow that to be pushed out, it's coming anyway. It's just if you resist, it will persist. It's back to that again, right? So what you've been suppressing, like we were saying in the beginning, the energy, the emotion, it's going to come to the surface one way or another. So be sure that you honor the things that are coming to the surface. You don't judge it, you observe it, you see it. Don't attach yourself. The emotion doesn't have to be you. You're just experiencing the emotion. You don't have to attach to it. I always say, like, get up in a helicopter and look up from a bird's eye view and just see, what does this emotion look like and what's around it. It's usually something that it's really, it's the perception, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Perception is everything. You can legitimately have everything look like externally, and then feel some kind of way. Like, I was watching a video earlier, and I said to my boyfriend, it was this lady and her son or whatever. They're living like in a camping site or whatever until they move into a short-term rental. And I was crying watching that video because I'm like, I'm sitting up here not stressing, because I don't really stress like that. I'm not using that word, but I'm sitting up here working my butt off, doing all this stuff. And then I'm getting in my head sometimes, and I'm like, the love and the relationship that they had and the beauty, I'm like, something that she don't even have a house yet. And like, we have a house, we have all this stuff. You can legitimately have everything that look like on paper and still not be happy. That's why you see so many people that have it all on paper. Oh, they got the life, they got the car, they got the money, all this stuff, but then they're devoid inside. They don't love themselves. They're not sitting with themselves. They don't have a relationship with their kids. They don't have a relationship with their partner. It's no love there. It's just you got money. Okay, what is money? Like, really, what is it? Energy, like, whatever.
Dawn said, very, very true. Yeah, it is. Because if you're not, again, the mirror, it's that 10-10 energy. It's, if you are not happy with everything that you're choosing in your life every day, it's a choice. If you are not happy with your internal state, that's always going to be reflected. Nothing will be enough, ever. You have, and that comes down to our last week's live, which is on the tube, is about self-concept, having the concept of self. Once you have that wholeness, once you have that fullness, that complete highest version of yourself, that concept, you will literally see that reflected in everything. Everything will always be enough. You're never in a state of lack, which is such a beautiful gift to give yourself.
It is. And that's being in the present. Like I did a post, the present is a present. The presence is the present. When you legitimately, like, I love being outside in nature. I'm always in nature. And I love when I just sit out there and watch the birds and the trees and the wind and just connect with everything. And you legitimately will see how abundant you are. Like, how abundant we all are. The fact that you woke up this morning, you have breath in your lungs. I don't care if you don't have a dime in your wallet.
That heart is beating. The heart is beating.
Your heart is beating. You can walk, you can talk, you can get up, you can go make something shake if you need to make something shake. You have that. It's some people that didn't wake up this morning. It's some people that'll never walk again. It's some people that any of those things. So the fact that we have so much abundance in our life and we get caught up, because of course we're going to always expand. We're going to always be going to the next level. That's normal. But you don't, because you're going to the next level and you're study expanding, you don't have to let your emotions control you. You are the one in control of your avatar. You control your emotions. You move the handles in your vehicle or whatever. So if a lot is coming up, a lot of stress, you need to sit with yourself. Stop bypassing those emotions. Stop just being in work, grind mode. Because I'm going to tell you what would happen. See, in this new frequency that's here, this new earth that we're always talking about that's already here, what's happening is an old paradigm is not gonna survive. And that's why you see so much stuff is crumbling under the old paradigm.
Physically.
Yeah. Because
meaning your body, if it's at the lower frequency, gone.
It was built on a house of straw. That's what it was built on. It didn't have no true foundation. So now that the wind is blowing, it's huffing and puffing and blowing that shit down. That's what it's doing. So
it's literally getting survival of the fittest, and it is not strong, meaning what we think it means. Now it's spiritually and mentally strong. That's literally the new paradigm that's being created. Is if you've listened to the patterns, if you've fallen victim to the fear-based systems, the indoctrination, you will literally stay in the old paradigm, which is crumbling and gone. Yes. Very quickly. We see that with the numbers of people that have been gone.
Yeah. We see it, we feel it, and see, and that's why the Most High is pushing us. Like you hear us talking about this, but we're not the only ones. You hear people talking about it in so many different levels or whatever. What do you think that is? That is Christ consciousness waking up in all of us, that is remembering ourselves and remembering our divinity. So we are talking about this to help others that are waking up, that are remembering, that are seeing this is messed up, that I don't agree with that paradigm, that is something inside of them is saying it's something more here. You didn't come here to just work yourself into in the grave. You came here to live life, to have fun, to enjoy, to experience. I always go
I
back
was
to
just going to say experience.
I always go back to when I was a little kid, and I remember when I was a kid, and I don't remember if that memory was because I don't know who I was talking. I don't know if I was telling you this or somebody else. I remember when I was on the other side. And I remember having glimpses I was with my cousin. I remember having glimpses in my memory of being on the other side and like coming here, but it was like a gap. So I don't remember everything. It's like blotches of it. And I remember this world being so beautiful. And I thought it was just so beautiful and just so, and then people started telling me, oh no, it's messed up. You got to be careful, all this stuff. And then I'm starting to cower and come inside. And so I had my awakening and had to rediscover myself. And I tell people, no, this is a beautiful life. I don't agree with that paradigm. I don't create that.
Amen. It is literally what you choose to see. What you choose to see, you will see. But then there's another side of it where if your soul picked to evolve and to elevate and to have an awakening, it will. And there's really, yes, we do have free will. You can prolong it. You can allow the things to persist, to kind of make it last a little bit longer than maybe it would have originally lasted if you would have, chose whatever. But we are having a collective upheaval at this moment, and that's why, again, community is important, but it's also this bold collective movement too. So while we're having, again, the paradox of it all, we're having an upheaval, but we're also having forward motion, forward movement. So I think that if you feel compelled in any capacity during this time to challenge a belief that you've had, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your job, whether it's in religion, whatever, any challenge that you have felt like there was an authority or something that defined who you were, told you who to be, told you how to be, whatever the case is, based on what they believed or what they were, this is the time to go within. This is the time to literally, right now, with the movement of this fire energy, to burn it down. It is. Now is the time. Like, utilize the energy instead of using it to feel confused or, oh, these people are crazy or what's that. Use the energy to say, what patterns do I need to burn? Because now is the time.
Yeah. Well, you were talking, I just had a download and there was a lot coming through. I really want to hold space for the men right now.
And that's what I have in my chat.
Oh, wait, yeah. I really want to hold space because we're all feeling it, but I know you all are feeling it. And that's because this whole patriarchal system has messed all of us up in general. But I know a lot of times society has taught men not to feel their emotions. And so women, we kind of have the upper hand in that regards because we've always been called so emotional. So we've been able to sit with our emotions, learn our emotions a little bit more. Even if you're a toxic woman, you still understand a little bit about your emotions, But we're a little bit more in tune with our emotions than you all are. And so therefore, that's where it's a lot of logic that comes in. And what's going on now, logic is not going to work. You have to connect with the divine feminine within yourself because we all have masculine and feminine within us. You have to connect with that part of yourself, that wounded part of yourself, that part of you that society told you don't cry, suck it up. No, you need to. I legitimately know some men that can't even cry, that legitimately a tear cannot pour out. And that right there shows you in itself, it's a block right there. It's something that needs to come out of you. The fact that you can't let something overflow, actually tears are a sign of release. And if you can't release what is being held inside of you, how are you going to get to your next level? How are you going to transform? How are you going to have the relationship, the life, the love that you want? Because you're blocked. And so I just really want to take a moment to just say, I acknowledge you. I see you. I feel you. I understand. I understand. But we're all in this together. We all have to do our part. And you got this. You got this.
Gen X said, I can cry so easily now, and I want to share. He just got back from the Pachamama ayahuasca sanctuary. And so I'm like, I love that the connection was made, and I think that was so beautiful because he had already been there, and then in the live they were like, oh my gosh, I've been there and you've been, and so they, we were doing the live and they connected in that. And so Derek, the owner of the ayahuasca sanctuary, invited Gen X to go for another ayahuasca ceremony for veterans. So he just got back like last week or something. And so Gen X, I would love if you could just share, and we'll keep talking until you respond or whatever, but I would love if you could share some advice, because he's a veteran. He's a manly man with a big beard, and he looks, just aesthetically would be what most men would consider a man that doesn't cry, right? And now he says, I cry so easily now, and he gets emotional, and I love that. I think that's such a beautiful thing, and it doesn't mean you're weak to have emotion. Actually, for healed women to have a man be able to be in touch with his emotions, that allows us to feel safe in our emotion. That literally is a container for a woman to feel emotionally safe, a man that can be with his emotion. Said, yeah, I saw the sacred geometry again. I got back on Monday. I would love to know, Gen X, what is one piece of advice, if you could tell, instead of saying it about tell other men, why don't we say tell your younger self? What would you say to your younger self that was afraid, or that was too big and bad for emotion? He said he was asked to sit at first guardian of the space. That's awesome, because that shows the recognition of your growth. That's such a beautiful thing. I love that. Hi, Dodd. Yeah, I think feeling our body first. Like, men know what emotion feels like, and it usually feels like rage. Right.
Yeah. It usually feels like rage. I mean, it feels like rage for us too. But like I said, we've been able to sit more with our emotions, so we can identify a little bit more. A lot of time, men first default is rage. You see it in little boys. Like I can say my son, for example, first emotion he go to directly rage, and I'm just like, what is going on? Just went from 0 to 10, just like that, and I'm like, and then because he's mad or hurt about something or whatever, I'm like, okay, let's talk through it. What's going on? What do you feel like? Let's process what's going on, and a lot of time, like, we didn't have that. Even women, like, we didn't really have that growing up, because our parents didn't know. We don't blame our parents for that. They did the best they could or whatever. But I know a lot of times society taught me, and no, women, as girls, we was able to cry more. Boys, no, suck it up. You're a boy. Don't cry. Like, I let my son express his emotion. I'm like, you can cry, but I don't. If you're doing too much, you're not gonna hurt nobody, hurt nothing else. But you're not gonna be up in here. You can go cry in your room and get it all out, or whatever. But you need to feel those emotions.
So Gen X said, don't let other people make you small, and don't be afraid to show your true self, which is literally the energy that Chiron is calling you with Eris to call you to heal, is that true, authentic self. Knowing that. And that's so crazy. Well, I don't know. It's not crazy. It's so beautiful. Magical. How everything just lines up perfectly to the energy of that is the truth. Like, that is literally, but I think so many times, and it works for your son because he's young and you're training him up into these to say, what are you feeling? But I know from many experiences with men, and when I say men, just even friends, my dad, my grandfather, ex-husband, anything like that, when you say, what are you feeling? So many times it requires them to almost like name something that their mind is not trained to process, right? Like
Yes,
you're
yes.
training your son to say, what am I feeling? And you're
Mhm.
holding his hand while he's
Mhm,
figuring it out. So it's providing this safe space. But if you've never had that safe space
Mhm.
to figure it out, they have blocked that part of the brain
Mhm.
or whatever. I don't scientifically,
Mhm.
whatever it is, right?
No.
But they've blocked that part of their processing. They
Mhm.
don't know what they're feeling. So
Mhm.
instead of possibly, I'm not a professional, but this is just what I'm feeling could
Mhm.
be helpful for a grown man who has learned to suppress very deeply and push and push and push, right? Is like, what happened? Okay. And what did that cost you? Or what did that mean? What did you need during that time that you didn't get? Because when we learn to hold in or suppress or block what we're feeling, I think sometimes the better way is, what can we like what don't we what didn't we have that we think we needed, or what did they do that we didn't need? Like we can kind of problem solve that way. And I think so many times men, it's such a like overwhelming thing to know what they're feeling. It's like, I don't know, and then they'd rather go work out in the yard.
Work out in the
So
yard, do something else. Yeah, and
distract.
distractions, and we have a world that's full of distractions right now. You legitimately have to have discernment. Like I work online all the time for my brand. Whether I'm being a mentor, whether I'm making content for brands, whatever, working social media all the time. And so you legitimately have to have discernment, because I get my day. Some days I'm just scrolling. I'm like, I'm just gonna be doom scrolling. I need to be doing some work or whatever. You have to legitimately be conscious, aware of what you're doing, because you was zoned out for a minute and be like, look, 2 or 3 hours passed by, did nothing.
But so the awareness is that's where I was going with that, is being aware, but allowing yourself to answer these questions so that almost like the storyline of answering those questions leads to the emotion that you're feeling. I think that sometimes, like how you can doom scroll and not even realize, but sometimes you can figure out what you're actually feeling just by going down the line, and then you don't even realize you've talked about what you're feeling. I think discoveries can happen like that so much easier when you don't put pressure on yourself. I think that's a big thing. Don't put pressure on yourself to figure out what you're feeling. Because the divine feminine part of you, everyone has masculine, feminine, right? The feminine part of you, the nurturing part of you. My doom scrolling has turned into a blessing. Scroll for the past few. And listen, sometimes we do need to doom scroll too. Exactly.
Sometimes you do, because sometimes you come across content like this, and then you like, oh, it triggers something in you. Like I love my timeline, especially on TikTok. I love my timeline, baby, because I see exactly what I need to see in that moment. Sometimes I open up the app, I've been just processed something, and it's a video pop right up. I'm like, dang, spirit, right at it.
I will actually set the intention sometimes to say, show me what I need to hear, or show me what I need to know, or whatever. Just oh, thank you, CJ. So glad he found us on his FYP. And yeah, so sometimes I think, especially when we live intentionally, it is very helpful, and we live present. We're able to find the moments of necessary lessons or things that we actually need in those moments when we're intentional, instead of doom scrolling with like lack mindset.
Yeah. And you have to be mindful what, like, everything, like, it's ways to hack your reality, and scrolling is one of them, is too, because whatever you feed, whatever you watch, whatever you constantly consume or whatever, that's what you're going to create in your reality. So you're constantly consuming chaos. Like, as soon as I see a video with chaos, I scroll, because I don't even want my algorithm to think that there's something that I want to see, because no, I don't want to see nobody doing this, all that. I don't want to see none of that. No. And so when you realize that your subconscious takes in everything, it's soaking up, it's things around you, or whatever else, you want to make sure you're feeding yourself healthy stuff. So on those days when you might feel a little low, because we go up and down, we know that we don't just stay one way, we go up and down, then you have stuff in your environment, in your corner, to help you get back up. It's a little easier. But if you feed yourself nothing but negative stuff, and everything around you is negative, and then you're feeling negative, then it's going to suddenly spiral out of control, and you're going to be more negative. So therefore, Watch stuff that feeds yourself. Like I tell everybody, I tell my clients, look, I'm even programming you, but it's the programming serving you. Everything is programming you.
Yes. Choose your program.
Choose your program.
I also want to mention too, this is also, yes, men, 100%, but it's also women who are still actively leading with their wounded masculine energy, and they don't feel like they're accessing or able to embody their feminine essence. Like, it's also those women too that are in that other wave that, thank God, I'm over that. And I'm still, obviously, like you said, it's not linear, it's up and down, and I still struggle with some control and masculine tendencies that I need to heal, but I've learned how to pivot when I need masculine, when I need feminine, and whatnot. But I will say, whether you are a man who is struggling with feminine energy or a woman who needs to embrace her feminine energy, stillness is a great way to really tap into that with meditation, because you're receiving, sitting in nature, becoming one, breath work, because masculine energy is always in motion. So when you allow yourself to receive, you're allowing yourself to just sit back. It's very hard to do that when you're a man who is constantly going, or a woman who is in masculine energy going, right? So stillness, to me, for me, if you disagree or if you see another way, please share. But for me, stillness was a really good feminine practice for me, because I only knew motion. I only knew go, push, control. So sitting back allowed me to be present, feel my body, feel what was. And I would get so anxious meditating sometimes because I'm like, I felt like I had to do something.
Nice to see you too.
Because I was doing nothing in my mind. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Sometimes nothing is the most effective thing you can do for your nervous system.
Baby, sometimes, let me say this. I haven't seen it in my life and other people I know life. Sometimes you're just grinding so much. You're just doing all this work. And nothing is really working, or you might get seeing little successes here and there.
Right.
And sometimes it's just you're needing to receive. You've done the momentum work, the masculine part of it. You've done the momentum, but you're not opening up the floodgates for you to receive what is yours.
Because if you go, you can't see. You're just going.
And it's not going to have anywhere to land. It's not going to have anywhere to land.
Yes, exactly.
So you legitimately have to sometimes having a day where you just free flowing. Just in your energy, and especially, men and women, but men's clock is a little bit different from ours. And I'm gonna say this to the women, especially now, because we have a lot of women that are entrepreneurs. We're doing our own thing, doing, all this stuff or whatever. So of course, being an entrepreneur, you have to really, especially the woman, you have to learn how to really balance your masculine and feminine, because in certain areas you're going to be in your masculine energy, getting energy or whatever. But then if you do that too much, you will burn yourself out. Trust me, I know from personal experience. Burn myself out yes, baby. And it's no joke. And it's something to get out of. That is the process itself to get out of the burnout or whatever. So therefore, you want to make sure you're living in ebb and flow with your cycle. You still have a cycle. You're still a woman with a cycle. Ebb and flow with your cycle. Like on those times when it's that time of the month for me or whatever, I'm not doing a lot of hard, strenuous stuff. I schedule my
honoring
work.
Yourself.
I'm honoring myself.
Yes.
I schedule my work and my timing and my workout. I schedule everything around how my energy level is. Because I know during that time, my energies are lower. So we just can't always be in go. That's why how women get burned out. Really easy. Even faster than men.
And I will also say too, creative expression without the idea that you have to have a result of it, like have to have a final goal. Sometimes, even if it's just drawing, writing, painting, what's something else? It could be cooking, playing music, or building something if a man really wants to do that. What?
Yes. Oh no, I was reading comments. Yeah, she said she got to have that me time and take care of herself. Yes, baby. You got to have that me time and take care of yourself.
And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't expect anyone else to, right?
And how you going to pour into somebody else? Because you don't have anything in you. You're depleted. So you can't pour into somebody else.
Right. But I do encourage some sort of creative expression, because that also helps with emotional regulation too. And it also activates this receptive energy. You're receiving the flow of whatever with no expectation of a goal, no result in mind, but just for the act itself, just for the creative expression itself, it literally, because masculine energy is conditioned to have an end goal, to go for an end goal. So if you allow yourself to receive without shutting down, without having an end goal, you realize, like, okay, I don't have to always be in competition for it. I don't have to do it for anything. Just I can just do it because it feels right or good. And that's a big thing about feminine energy, is a feeling. You have to go with feeling sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, seven on there. Hey, Seven.
Yeah, she came over here too.
Yes. I mean, that's and see that's why we love doing what we do. Like I dance with a dragon and with different tools, and so does Lexi, whatever. And so and people, and I see so many women that comment, like even on my Oreo post or whatever, women that comment or whatever, and they're like, oh, it just looks so freeing or whatever. It is free. It is freeing. Like it is like be yourself. Like, don't worry about, like, I'm pretty sure, like, we just moved or whatever. I'm pretty sure some of my neighbors think I'm butt shit crazy. I be going around the house, saging the house outside, dingling shit, all kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I'm the one over here. I don't care though, because it's me. That's what I do for me, to keep me in alignment with myself.
My mom actually did the flags on Easter. We went outside and I gave her one of my flags, and she was like, I love this, but it's a lot harder than I thought. I'm like, oh, don't let it fool you.
It's a workout, especially the dragon. It's a workout.
I am always sore. But I want to challenge all the men that are seeing this too. Even women that struggle with receiving this. One of the hardest things that I think for many men to receive, and not from their mother, but maybe depending on the relationship with their mother. I would like to think our children, our sons, don't feel this way. But I know that a lot of older men probably do. Allowing someone to give to you, allowing someone to tend to you, or to, I gotta watch how I not take care of you, but just give you something, whether it's affection, whether it's just being allowed to receive, allowing yourself to receive without immediately thinking that you have to deflect and say, I don't need that, I don't, whatever, or immediately thinking that you have to have a turnover time of 0.1 seconds of reciprocating that energy, and just sitting in the energy of receiving, because that in itself is the direct reflection, or a direct practice of feminine receiving energy. And I think so, as my son gets older, I can see how he is starting to, that gap is growing, how he's starting to feel, oh, well, let me go get you this, or let me do this, or you did this, so I'll do this. With some things, not necessarily chores, but when it comes to, like, if I rub his back, he's like, well, I'll do yours later. And I'm like, you don't have to, this is not an IOU. This is, I'm doing this for you with no expectation of you ever giving it back. Just receive it. This is your mother, and I love you. This is what I do. And I think so many times we think, oh gosh, am I receiving this? Is this going to be held over my head? Do I need to give it back, or what? Just receive, say thank you, and let it go.
Yes.
Because you deserve it.
Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it. It's okay to receive. It's okay to just be. Like, I came to this realization earlier today, and I said, I'm just so tired and fed up of just allowing, because nothing controls us, we allowing anything in this reality to take me off center. Like, I no longer subscribe to it's something triggering. I'm not saying I can't get triggered anymore. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, because I'm aware of when I do get triggered, I go inside. But I'm out of this energy of just always letting everything take you off your center or whatever. You have to recalibrate or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just be free. Like, the energy that I'm in is just like, I'm just being me. I'm being me. I'm being free. I'm holding space for people to be themselves. If they want to do their work, they will. If they don't, I can't force anybody. I'm not here to do that or whatever. As being people that we do. We've been in that energy before, trying to make people do this and all this stuff, trying to help. No, I'm no longer Captain Save a Hoe. I'm not saving anybody. Everybody got to take their own weight. I'm not doing that no more. No, I have no more bags on my back. I had a dream one night, and my cousin was like, and this dream was like, I had all these bags or whatever. And so she was like, because you carry so much for people or whatever. So many people come to me for stuff. And that's fine. I know what I do. I know what my energy is or whatever. But also, too, I have to set boundaries in place and be like, if it's a day that I'm dealing with my own stuff, I can't today. I cannot. I cannot today or whatever. And I'm okay with it now. Like I used to want to always be there for people and help solve people's problems. No, people got to solve their own shit. I'm not doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Amen. And that all comes down to learning yourself. And we both said in our tube thing that we put is self-mastery.
Yes,
that becomes, once you master yourself, you allow yourself and you open yourself up to become master of all. Like, because we are one. You master yourself. You literally master everything you come in contact with through self. The journey through self allows you to master everything else in your reality. It all starts with you. I also just want to say, for whatever reason, and I know we have some leaders that follow me and also men leaders. We're going to have a really awesome spiritual man next week, Jeremy Tarter. He is on TikTok, so you have to go find him. And you'll know it's him instantly with his spiritual post. But I think especially Gen X saying in this live that that the ayahuasca sanctuary asked him to be the guardian or whatever. There are men. Oh, hi, Christian. There's a time. The time has come now because women have been building communities for a very long time. I have a guy also like in my community that has like a coffee thing that he does. It's oh my gosh, I forget what they call it. But anyway, point is, it is time that men rise up when they're being called. When you feel this pull in your spirit, fire energy is strong. You will know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like when you're in church and they do altar call and you're like, I don't want to go, but you know your ass got to get up and go, right? Because you feel it. You're like, I have to.
Yeah.
It is that feeling that you feel in your spirit. You cannot, you are doing yourself, your mission, your purpose, and other men you could help such a disservice if you don't follow your calling. And you know what you're calling. I ain't got to tell you. You know it. And so there's an effect, the peer effect. It is very significant, especially with men, and especially men are far more likely to go to a space where it's somewhere that's emotionally safe with other men instead of going to a space with me and you who are already emotionally more wired. They're going to think like when other men are showing them and are leading by example, just like Jesus did. He led by example. He wasn't absent from emotion. Yes, sometimes his emotion manifested as rage. Sometimes he cried. But when that man walked on water, the parable of that was water in the tarot is emotion, right? Jesus was being he was showing you how when you walk on water, when you control your emotion, when you become the master of your emotion, how the sea is calm. Everything else, even if somebody's screaming at you, somebody's doing when you master your emotion and when you understand your emotion, you let it flow. Water is emotion. Just let it flow. So I just think, know that when you allow yourself to feel the emotion, when you allow yourself to show other men emotion, you don't know what, even if other men look at you like, what the fuck is this guy doing? They're in the back of their mind, they're thinking that was so freeing to see because they don't see it. It really is because you're actually, instead of activating the feminine energy, really, bug. What I think it's doing is men are becoming exhausted from suppressing the feminine. Really, it has to be exhausting.
It is exhausting. Yeah, it is. And I can tell you from being a woman, there used to be so much in my masculine energy.
Me too. As soon as I said that, you
already know. it is
You numb
definitely
it.
exhausting. You numb it. You numb it. And when you numb that, like emotions are such a beautiful thing. Don't be afraid of your emotions, and you know that whatever emotion you feeling, you are the one in control. This is why the other thing too. A lot of people are afraid of their emotions. They're afraid if they feel deeply, they don't know how they're at. You are in control of your vehicle. You have to always know you are in control. Your emotions are not in control of you unless you allow them to. Then that's where people do stuff out of rage and stuff like that, because you allow that emotion to take over. And that's a topic for another day, because I can talk about you having wounds inside, your emotions taking over, and other energies hijacking your emotion because they see your aura has a hole in your field.
Almost
That's
like a vulnerability.
Yeah, a vulnerability. That's a whole other topic. We can talk about that in the next slide if you want to. But yes, it's so important to know yourself and know what you're feeling and what's coming up, and go through all that. And when you do that, you will see it's so freeing. It's so freeing for yourself. It's so freeing, because I'm telling you, what I'm seeing now in a lot of men, when it comes to like their work and all this stuff, whatever, a lot of men, like in business or whatever they're doing, stuff isn't going the way that it used to go anymore. Because like I said, the old energy is not working anymore. And they're wondering why, because you're being called for something else. You're being called to do something else, but you're not listening to that call. So you're wondering why stuff around you is crumbling, because you're not listening and sitting with the divine feminine within you. She's talking to you. She's like, yeah.
It's crazy. It's not working. And that's exactly right. Because the thing is, what they think they're protecting someone from with kind of like suppressing their emotions or staying numb. The real question is, what becomes activated in you when you allow your emotions to flow? Because that's the key to a lot of success now, is activating and going with your intuition, going with your feeling. And Gen X said, I feel so much more powerful with my balanced masculine feminine. The power lies in balance. Because if you think about a house that is off balance, the foundation is not straight. It's going to be built with cracks, and it won't be a good house to live in long term. So that's the deconstruction, and that's the reckoning. Also, the thing that the guy does in the community is called Power in a Cup. And as I got that while you were talking, I was like, oh my gosh, cup, water.
Yeah, I love that.
So, and he don't even know. But that's crazy.
So Christian said something. He said, yep, you want a hustle culture, and your feminine energy is trying to show you don't have to. Isn't that right?
You want a what to culture?
You want a hustle culture, because we've been taught this hustle culture. Yes. Trust me, I used to follow all that, and it serves its place or whatever. Not saying it doesn't serve its place or whatever, but it's not going to sustain you anymore. He said
it's not the vibe anymore.
It's not the vibe anymore. No, he said you want a hustle culture, and your feminine energy is trying to show you don't have to. No, because this new paradigm is not about that. It is not about that. Legitimately, let me tell you how everything is working out so magically. So people think that, because AI is taking over and going to take people's jobs and all this stuff, but they're like, this is happening. AI and all this is happening all at one time for a reason. Because people are tired. People are burnt out. People are working 2 and 3 jobs trying to make, people are tired, and we cannot sustain it. So now people are scared because they're saying, oh, AI is going to take my job or whatever. What is so bad about us learning how to create a new paradigm based off of some old traditions that we had, and the new? Because the old, we used to come into the other community. And when you hear the sayings that it take a village to raise a child, it legitimately does. We wouldn't have all the chaos we have going on now if we didn't have those villages. Because I know when I was a kid, and me and my friends was up and down the street on the bikes, whatever, a mother or somebody's house or whatever, something was going on, they would say something. It takes a village to raise. Now you have everybody in their own little corner, a kid, something happened down the street or whatever, ain't nobody saying nothing. Because we've lost that connection as community.
You are so true. That is so right. You know what was, okay, so I went to, it was called the Phoenix ceremony that they did for my dad for cardiac arrest survivors, okay? One common theme that I saw with everyone there. Well, now we live in the woods and in BFE, but he was the only one, my dad was the only one that, like, it was a legit family that took care of his, did his CPR and whatever. But everyone else, one kid. He was in his 20s, had cardiac arrest in Walmart. The community came and did CPR until the ambulance came. Another man was riding his bike, had cardiac arrest. I'm getting chills saying this because exactly what you just said, it is shifting. If we allow it to shift and we are a part of the shift, if we choose to be a part of the movement, it will be shifting, right? So like the awareness, the being mindful of the power of community and the power of the village, because it's not just about it, you were saying it about the kids, but that's not really what it's helping everyone, right? It's helping the man on the bike that falls down, instead of turning a blind eye to it and keep going because you got something going on, to stop, because karma's real, one. Two, people need people, and we are seeing this so much. I mean, all of these people in this ceremony survived because of someone acknowledging, being present, and taking time and helping. So yes, community is so important, and a village is so important.
Yes, it really is. We learn how to grow stuff again. We learn how to, we all have gifts, whether you're a mentor, whether you're construction, whatever, we all have gifts. We all can come together and use our gifts together as a community. When we do that, the people, that's all I'm gonna say, is the people.
But you don't know your gift unless you know yourself.
Yes, you might.
I will say this until I'm blue in the face. I will say it every single live. Knowing yourself, having a relationship with yourself, loving yourself, it is crucial for every relationship in your life. And sometimes you think you know yourself, and then you got to go a little deeper, and you got to go a little deeper, and that's okay. You constantly are meeting new versions of yourself and finding things out about yourself. Date yourself, love yourself, have a relationship with yourself. It's so important.
Yes, it surely is. Look, the puzzle came up for me. There it is.
Oh, hi, Christian. He's over here. But, all right. So it's 9:35. We've been here an hour now. So, when I just want to write down, you said we'll save this for another time. What was the topic? Because it was talking about, us having, in our energy centers or whatever, us having leakages in our energy centers. And when we do that, because of our own wounds or whatever is coming up, other energies or entities can siphon and hijack your energy like a parasite. So you have to be aware of that as well. Yep. Alignment. And also like making sure everything is in alignment, making sure nothing, because really, if you think about it, the minute you're off alignment, you're creating cracks, right? And then also balancing masculine, feminine, hustle culture. I wrote that down.
But when we say, I want to close with this because I don't want anybody to be afraid when I say that or whatever. We're not saying that for you to be afraid. Like, oh, no, because that's going to cause more holes in your aura right there. No, we are saying this so you can be aware and realize your power, because nothing can siphon off you unless you allow it. Something try to get in your energy, you tell that shit to go back where it came from and leave you alone, and it has to go. It has to live and obey by universal laws.
Amen. Gen X said, I fear nothing. And I will say, fear is a low vibration. We don't fear anything.
Oh, hold on. Did you see my video I posted earlier? I was reading this audio book or whatever, and I got it from one of these billionaires that I follow or whatever. It's one of the books that he read, and so I'm reading it now. And so in the first chapter, it said that fear, when you have fear, you have faith in evil. When I read that shook my core. I was like, that is so true. Legitimately, when you fear, you're fearing the worst thing happening. So you're having faith in evil. But when you have true faith, you have faith in good and God. And you know it's going to work out. That was just like I'm like, oh yeah, baby.
And why would you even allow fear in? And to allow it to exist, to choose that paradigm, to choose that narrative. I mean, you're really doing yourself a huge disservice. And also, I just wanted to piggyback off of last thing, what you said is, we have the upper hand. We are the creators, especially of anything that you can't see. If you want to talk about energies or whatever, we always have the upper hand. We can command, demand, affirm, declare against anything.
Mhm.
And
Any
we can also
principality.
have access to the highest of high and allow that to work with us. And so really it's all about, again, it's your perception, how you choose to view things. Yes, good, bad, light, dark, it all exists. It's all here simultaneously. It's all a part of interweaving everything. You allow it to be a part of you or not. You have the upper hand in all of that. So take your power back and know who you are. And then it's not a problem. But staying in alignment will allow you to use your discernment and your awareness to feel those shifts more, right?
Yeah.
So you have to know.
And at the end of the day, when you realize that you're one with everything, light, dark, everything, what is it to hurt you? What is it to fear?
It can't unless you allow it.
Unless you allow it. I'm just saying, when you realize and you know that
Right.
you are one with everything, everything is you. So whatever darkness it is, you have darkness too. Whatever light it is, you have light too. So you understand that and you understand that, then therefore it's like, okay, why am I fearing anything? Because this is all a projection of me. Me creating this whole paradigm for me to experience and grow on a soul level.
So what do I want to experience?
Yeah.
Instead, and then that's what you choose to experience.
Yeah.
Dang, that was good. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank
I appreciate it.
you.
If anyone, again, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions on things that you would like us to dive deeper on, please let us know. And next week, I'm very excited. We'll have Jeremy on. I don't know exactly where we're going with it. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm excited. Next Thursday, 8:30 EST.
Yes, and we will see you guys then. And don't forget the last Sunday of the month. We also go live at 2. I'll join soon. Okay, 7-6, you'll join soon. So we go live, at 2 on the last Sunday of the month as well. So you can make sure you catch all these lives or whatever and all the content on the tube. This right here, we go live every Thursday, and we love you guys. And make sure you hold yourself together. Know you got this, and we're all in this together. We are the founders of the new earth.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.